everybody can hear me. I don't know why my audio is just not working right. There it goes. Okay. I don't, it's like I have to re-plug it in every time. It's very strange. Okay, so want to do the, let's do the actual contract first. So I like to always draw the broadening formation. Draw one here, but this is the larger one we're in. We're also in a smaller, tighter one down here. We did have what could be considered a TTO from last week. So we could have a TTO from last week, potentially. I don't know if we're going to come down through this broadening formation, the smaller one or the larger one. Very, very possible that we will. I think I will remove the smaller one. So this would be your larger broadening formation here on ES on the week. I'll go over the cues here in a minute, but this is what, in gold, this is what ES looks like. But also want to draw the previous week's high. I usually do those in orange. And previous week's low. Stat. So that would be your weekly range. We did close at 69.65, so be interesting to see what happens here at open. I think we're gonna open flat, but that's just me. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens here whenever we open. We'll look at I don't even know if I have gold on here. I do. Here it is. So we have the long wick there on gold. And what you can see is TTO, right? Triangle they out up there at the top. I would probably put the broadening formation here, the bottom broadening formation here. That's not going to be exact, so that's going to give you a wide range on that broadening formation. But, you know, there it is. I don't know why my dog decides to bark whenever I get on stream. Every time. Phoebe, that's enough. Knock it off. Okay, so that's gold's broadening formation. Long wick up there. We'll draw the bottom of last week's low and top up there. Now, this is just me, but what I like to do a lot of times is draw the fib within that wick, because if we open here, for instance, or somewhere around in here, I want to know where they're now. Can we open down? Yeah, I mean, I pointed this out on ES that we had a monthly pivot machine gun, and this is the weekly here on gold. But if you wanted to do your pivot machine gun, one, two, three, 4, and then 5. So there's your pivot machine gun on gold if they decide to start coming all the way back through there. Will it? I don't know. No idea. But they have TTO'd, that's for certain. Okay, there's your fib on the wick of gold. You could do the whole body from last week too, just to see about where you might would get an entry But it's going to be interesting to see where it opens. I do not normally trade gold. So, and I'm probably not going to. I imagine the spreads are going to be very wide when it opens. So I just I'm not putting my accounts at risk over that. Let's look at NQ. That's YM. So here's NQ again. Could potentially have been a TTO last week. There's top of your broadening formation. You could have the smaller one. Well, actually, let's just do a wider one. So there you go. There's your broadening formation there. Small, more of a doji type candle for last week on NQ. So there's top and bottom of last week there. We could do the fib on that wick as well. I only do the fibs on candles that leave long wicks because I want to know where the entry would be, for short or long. So it's just something I came up with myself, for myself. It is not part of the strat. It's just something that I like to do. So there's that on NQ. So we have more of a doji / week there on that as well. So, but I pretty much am sticking to trading ES. It's what I do the best with, and it's what I had the indicator built for. Yeah, let's go over the monthly. The monthly, we did have a higher. That be considered a higher low? No. We had a 2 up. Sorry, so we had a 2 up green there for NQ for last month. So we are starting a new month, new week. Tonight when we open, and so it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But try to take my time at open and just watch the price action. I don't know if the spreads will be wide or not on everything. I imagine on gold and silver they will be. But, I don't normally trade those. But if you do, just, use some caution on that. Pay attention to those spreads there if you do trade the metals. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at. Let's look at the calendar. So economic calendar. We have ISM on Monday at 9 a.m. Tuesday, we have JOLTS and FOMC members pretty much back to back. And then on Wednesday, we have ISM and non-farm employment change. I was thinking Friday was non-farm payroll. Yeah, okay. So non-farm payroll is actually Friday, so I don't know what the non-farm ADP non-farm employment change, but non-farm payroll is the one you want to pretty much pay attention to. So that's Friday. It's usually the first Friday of every month. And then, let's see, unemployment on Thursday, as well. So lots of red folder events, this week. So if you're trading futures, keep that in mind, that we do have those events going on. So, but other than that, we'll just get ready for open here and see what happens and go from there. If anybody has any questions, definitely let me know. Be happy to answer them for you. Apex is doing the 90% off sale, so you can use my code BluesTrades there at Apex. That'll get you $50K for like $19 and something right now. They are still having the PA fee sale. That one, I just activated that 50K on Friday for $75 lifetime. So great prices there on lifetime fees there at Apex. I do have on my 50K Rhythmic account, I do have all the minis blocked, so I can only do micros. I need to go in. I was going to show you guys that. So what you can do is you can go in here to your trader dashboard here on Rhythmic Trader Pro, and you can click on the account and view risk parameters. Then you want to go here to risk parameters set by the trader. You can set times. You can set to auto liquidate threshold. Like I have it set to if I lose more than $750, it'll just lock the account. And let's see, lock on auto liquidate. Liquidate only on lotto. Let's see, yes, enabled. You can do certain times, balances. You can lock out certain symbols. So I have all the minis locked out. Well, the ones for the indices in oil, in gold, silver. I have all those locked. I have M&Q locked. I cannot trade that. I pretty much have it basically down to I can't trade anything except for MES. I have ES blocked as well for the minis. So just setting some risk parameters here for myself. I did a challenge last week or last month actually, where I could only trade up to a certain amount of micros. I did that for myself. I don't know how to set that on here exactly. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I need to research it because I don't know. Let's just see here if I can figure that out. How to go into MES and see if I can limit the number of contracts I can trade. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, I don't see any menu options that I can do that, so I'll just leave it as is. But it should not even come close to hitting $750 drawdown on a couple micros. Trying to think if there's a way to do that. Ah, no trade symbols. More options. Legend. Yeah, I don't see where I can do that. I'll have to do a little bit of research and see if there's a way to potentially limit the amount of contracts you can use in RTrader Pro, because I'm not sure. If anybody knows, let me know. But I don't need RTrader Pro up while I'm trading, so I already got everything pretty much set in there. Why is... See why I wanted to hop on early, because I needed to get some things in order here. I feel like this is like all over. Okay, let's do let's do MES here while we can. we'll do the actual contract. Alright, so we will do the previous week's high, previous week's low. Come on. Yes, I know there's a keyboard shortcut, but I'm using an actual Mac keyboard, Logitech MX keys, so I don't know. I think it's a little different from Windows, one that's actually built for Windows. But anyway, here's what I was talking about for the pivot machine gun for ES. This is what worried me, and I spoke on last Sunday. 1, 2, let's see, 3. Oh, I got the keyboard shortcut working. 4. There's really not a wick here, but I would probably just call this one 5. So pivot machine gun with the Strat is 5 pivots up or down. And if you look at it, what will happen is if price starts really going, it'll just go, does fall like dominoes, just all the way through. So I always think of Jimi Hendrix's song Machine Gun whenever I think about the pivot machine gun with the Strat. So I actually heard that song the other day, and I hadn't heard it in a long time. That was when he had the band of Gypsies. But yeah, so anyway, getting back to the Strat, I can easily go off on tangents sometimes, but yeah, so getting back to the Strat, I mean, that's just the pivot machine gun on the monthly. If, not saying it would occur, but it, the potential is there. The potential is there, and that's the only thing that kind of worries me about it. If you look at it from a yearly perspective, we have gone up. We have not closed back through the top of last year. If we do, I would be concerned that we could put in a 2-up red year, and they just start coming all the way back through the top of last year. So, or all the way back through last year's candle. Obviously, that has not occurred, but it is something that I'm cognizant of and watching. So if we start closing below 68.94 on a higher time frame, a longer term basis, as Alex's options would say, and Rob would say, I want to know about that. So just keep that price level, alerted, the 68.94, 68.95 area there on ES. And like I said, if we start closing below that on a larger time frame, I would definitely want to be cognizant of that and know about that. So but yeah, we'll see what happens here. We got about 3 minutes to the open. This is the daily chart there on MES. So let's see. Let's do that. I will change that to, I think I always do my days in blue. So Friday's high and low there. So previous week's high, low. These are the pivot machine gun levels. I wouldn't really worry about those too much. That's just, much longer term basis there. But it's going to be interesting to see where we open up in here in just a couple minutes. So anybody have any questions, please type them in the chat. Be happy to help you with them. I do trade the Strat created by Rob Smith. You can also learn from other channels besides mine, Sarah Strat Sniper, Alex's Options, ADEX Trades, Strat Soldier. All those people trade the Strat. Why is my trade not coming up? Where I can trade on. Oh, they moved it. Lord have mercy. Why in the world would they move such a thing? That is craziness. I hate when Tradeovate lately, I don't know, or I'm not sorry, Tradeovate, TradingView lately, I don't know what in the world they're on. They have been on just some craziness. They move stuff around. They change stuff. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So we're opening flat. I told one of my friends I think we'll open flat. So we've opened flat, roughly, down a little, because normally it's 10 points within the previous open is considered a flat open. Or, I'm sorry, 10 points between open and previous close is considered flat open. So open and down slightly. There is also theory, statistical theory, back it up, that says that if you open in negative territory, you will close in positive territory. So keep that in mind. Because, again, the market rotates from positive to negative. Let's look at the indicator. Let's see, where is it? Futures pivots. Why didn't it come up? Where are you? Okay, I don't know why it's not there. That's very strange. Okay. Why is my indicator not showing? There it goes. Nope. Settings 8. I'll let that off there. That. Okay, why is my indicator not showing? So we're touching last Friday's low. Okay, this is really freaking me out. I don't know why my indicator's not showing. It's the one I rely on. Because I need to know where the price levels are. Oh my gosh. Phoebe, if you don't knock it off. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to figure out why my indicator's not working because I need it. Do I trade gold or NQ? I do not. I trade ES. Can I trade gold or NQ? Absolutely. Have I? Yes. But ES is my bread and butter. And it's way more predictable for me. I can see where the price levels are, what's happening, all those sorts of things. So, but why my indicator's not working, I don't know. That's bothering me. Mona, is your indicator working? Like, can you see if the one I sent you is working? I don't know why it's not. This is not good for me. I need those lines. I need those levels. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have think that TradingView would have removed it because. What is going on? Like, my sessions are there. I mean, everything is there that it should be working. There should be nothing else blocking this. I mean, I can do it by hand on, because I know the math. But I don't like that at all. I'm gonna have to go, I gotta wait 7 minutes to see the actual Globex open price from CME. Shoot. What is going on? It's like it's not getting the price from CME. Oh, you know why? I think I know why. There was something going on with the CME data. Because I remember somebody talking about it, that there was an issue with the CME data, and CME didn't have something about the order book. So the indicator can't work, obviously, if it can't get the CME data. That's not good, because it gets that data from CME. God. That indicator I think actually goes and grabs the data from CME. But it's 69.39 and a half. Okay, then I can do the math from there. I may just wait a few minutes and grab that CME data, and then draw the lines myself on the chart. But man, that makes me, that's not good. E-quotes. Where is that? Oh, for Pete's sake. Where in the world? Okay. All right. Yeah, see, so that's why this isn't, that's why my indicator's not working, because it's got to get that CME data. Okay, well, good to know. Not crazy. So 69.39 and a half. To write this down in my notebook. I track this data, so people may think I'm crazy. That's okay, but I track this data, and there's a big reason why I track it, but I track it. I was doing it for ES and NQ and gold, but I just pared it down to ES. I may go back to tracking the whole, all of it, but I needed to pare things down and focus. Let's see, so ES and 69, 39 and a half. Okay, so I can do all the math. I can do all the math from there. No, I will not share my math formula. That is proprietary. It took a long time to develop. Years, actually. Well, almost a year. It was just something I kept tracking and noticing in the data, and so I came up with my own proprietary math formula based upon that data, and yeah, so that's why thankfully I can do it by hand. Do I trade on the DOM or the chart? Both, but I know about precisely where my entries will go based upon my indicator plus the strat. So we opened 35 down. Be looking for an entry here fairly soon for a dip buy. Am I a scalper or a hold? A little bit of both. I mean, if you look at my statistics, I've held trades as long as up to 4 hours. Sometimes I hold them all day if I'm just in a micro and I'm playing the trend. Let's see. Yeah, there would have been an entry right there at 69.19 and a half. Oh well. We are opening inside a week, so, and that's indicative of this price action here basically being inside of the previous week's candle. If you look at this from a perspective of order flow, we're stuck. We are completely stuck. I wanted to do like a rectangle. Where is that? Let's do this. From here to there. We are stuck. I mean, we're just stuck. Like, look at all this liquidity in here. We're like, really? This is crazy. Phoebe, you can knock it off at any time. Okay, now it's going to take me a minute to draw my lines because the indicator's not working. Did they come out with it yet? So quotes open 69.38 and a half. 69.38 and a half. Well, now that skews everything by a point. Shit. Okay, great. Damn it. Hey, I know you see something out there. I know you do, but you gotta stop barking, okay? We're good. Stop barking. So CME's official open is 69.38 and a half. Yes, yes. What's telling me to buy or sell? Nothing. Nothing is. The strat will give you a good indication of what's going on and how price action is moving, but no one should be telling you to buy or sell anything. You need to figure that out for yourself. And technically, it's illegal to tell somebody to buy or sell. You can't. That is illegal. Well, somebody has a financial license to do that, they are violating the law. And I, for one, value my freedom, so. Oh, my dog's telling me to buy or sell? No, I wish. If she sees I think she sees another dog outside, so. Yeah, we're just stuck. Like, really? I mean, this is. Ugh. I kind of hate opening inside week. I mean, I can scalp it, but I really love gaps on open. Those are my favorite. Like, last Sunday's gap was awesome. I loved playing it. It was fabulous. Yeah. I hate opening inside weeks. I can trade inside weeks, obviously. I can trade inside days, but the issue just, I mean, you can scalp them. You know, you could scalp it long, you can scalp it short. You just play the edges, you know, when it gets down, you know, like, for instance, if you think this level's going to hold, you just play it long. If you think this level's gonna hold, you just play it short. I mean, that's the best way to play insides. Let's look at the daily. We're still inside day. We didn't break the low of Friday. Not to mention that we're in this mother bar range here. So until we get out of 70.32 to 68.98, we're pretty much stuck there. We could go 2 down and break 69.17 and a half, which I'm thinking they're going to, but you know, I don't know. So once you get into a trade, you go to a lower time frame. Not generally. I can trade the lower time frame, but I need to know what the higher time frame is doing, unless it's just a pure scalp. But right now we're inside, so unless you want to scalp the edges, there's really nothing to do. the strat system says, you know, you need to play what's happening, not what you think is going to happen, which I've gone against several times. Not always for the best. If you look at the 4 hour, we did have a 2 down 4 hour with a slight gap. If you look at the hourly, 2 down with a gap. But the larger time frame is inside, so they could potentially buy this dip at any moment. I don't have an actionable signal, I guess is what I'm saying. The 15-minute is 2 down with a gap. Now this new 15 is inside, so until we break this low, I can't go short. Until we break this high, I can't really go long. If you look at the 5-minute, completely inside this mother bar range. Again, can't go long, can't go short. Look at the 2-minute inside bar. Look at the 1 minute. We're going 2 up, but barely because of the larger time frames. So just look at this tight range. Like, there's really nothing to do for me, from a strat perspective. So yeah, I'm not long nor short. For me, it's risk off at the moment. Hey, at least I got Phoebe to stop barking. Yeah, we're range bound. That's what an inside bar with the strat is. You are completely inside of the previous days, weeks, months, year, all the way down to the 30-second chart, 15-second chart. An inside bar never changes. You're either inside or you're out of it, or you've taken out both sides of the previous range, which would be an engulfing candle. So you have 3 scenarios within the strat. You have a 1, which is an inside candle, meaning the price action is completely inside the previous candle, right? You have, let me see if I can find the strat cheat sheet. I don't know if this will come up on, okay. So you have a 1, which is completely inside of the previous candle. You have a 2, which is a directional bar. You can either be down or up, which means it broke the previous candle high or low. Okay, that is what would be a 2. Where did my trading view go? That would be a 2. A 3. Here, let's do this. Let's go back to the higher time frame. We'll go to a daily, okay? And let me go to indicators, favorites. This one right here is the one I recommended if you're learning how to trade the strat. The Strat Teach V2. Okay, so let me hide my broadening formations. I don't really want to remove them. I just want to hide them. Let's see here. That's okay. We'll just leave them up. It's fine. But the Strat Teach V2 will put these labels on your chart. It will also do what the Strat calls a full time frame continuity box down here. It'll show you the direction of the date, the week, the month, the quarter. And it'll tell you whether there's an actionable signal on that. Okay, so an inside bar again is completely inside of the previous bar. It happens on every single time frame. It does not change. That's the beauty of the strat. It happens on every ticker. It does not change. Again, the beauty of the strat. You have a 2 bar, which is down or up, okay, from the previous bar. You always want to look left in the strat. Then you have an engulfing candle like this, which was a 3, all the way back on Wednesday of last week, or 2 weeks ago. Wednesday. Yeah, last week. So a 3 is characterized by it takes out the bottom, so they started selling off, and then they started coming back up through, and it took out the top of the previous bar. So you have a directional bar. All bars will start as 1. Okay, they will almost, well, not all, but in order to get a 3, you need it to be a 2 first. You don't know if it's going to turn into a 3 until it crosses the 50% on the fib of the previous bar. But the way you can generally tell that is because if you drop to a lower, if you look at the time frame, you'll notice they'll start coming back up through or down through the previous bar. When that occurs and crosses more than 50% of that previous bar, you could potentially have an outside bar in your hands. But that's the strat system in itself. So you'll 1, completely inside of the previous candle. 2, a directional bar, up or down. And then you can have a 3. Now, it gets a little more complicated because you can have what they call a failed 2 or a failed 2, which would be a 2 up but red, or a 2 down but green. So that occurs, that is a phenomenon. That generally represents what the strat will call a TTO, or triangle day out, which creates a broadening formation on a smaller time frame. Every 3 bar creates a broadening formation. So every engulfing candle creates a broadening formation like so. Come on. This way. Really? No, this way. Come on. I can't get it to go. But so that's the way I learned how to draw broadening formations, was I would find the 3 bar and then draw and then anchor it. Now I need to move this because I don't want that on there. But every 3 will create a broadening formation on a smaller time frame. Okay. All right. So, I figured out the way I could just do this and then hide. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so we are breaking, or we're very close to breaking last Friday's low. Are we going to break it? I don't know. They just bounced right off of it. So it's going to take some force to break it, because they literally just bounced right off of it. I'm tempted to go long on the smaller time frame, but I really at least want to let this hourly play out. The 30-minute low is holding, and now we're about to get a new 30-minute candle. We did have a 2 down there on that 30-minute, on that 15-minute. So we're about to get a new 15-minute candle here. That'll also open a 30-minute candle. I'll be targeting 36 to the upside if they do buy this here. I'm gonna switch to MES and take a stab at a long. And we're just gonna buy 1. We will take profit at 20 ticks. Which would be about where I'd be targeting anyway, because I really want to target 69.36, which is previous liquidity here between 36 to 38. So I'm okay with taking profit there at 35. That would be 20 ticks. That's been my go-to lately, is take profit at 20 ticks. But again, I do not have higher time frame confirmation. This is an inside candle on the higher time frame. I do not have higher time frame confirmation. This is scalping on a 15-minute, which I generally do not do. The 15-minute is not my favorite time frame at all. That last 15-minute was a doji, so if we start closing above this on the 15-minute, I am very comfortable in this long, and I may raise where I take profit. Anybody else have any questions? Feel free to ask them. Again, feel free to use my coupon code Blues Trades. It'll work at Lucid, Bullinox, and Apex. All right, there we go. Nice little pop. It should probably take my profit here in just a moment. Yes, being a wuss and trading one micro. One micro is not going to blow your account. You could let the micro run all day and it's not going to blow your account. Not unless you're heavy in drawdown to begin with. So I'm actually going to move that take profit up a bit. So yeah, we're just gonna let that ride. Because we are inside this previous candle, I feel comfortable doing that. So if you want to be safe and put a stop loss, here's where my stop loss would go. It actually should go here, beneath the previous candle's low. You can then drag it. Excuse me. You can then drag your stop anywhere you want, right? So you can drag it anywhere you want, and but this is a little bit higher time frame. I'm actually going to put it about there, so we'll let this play out here. But yeah, when you enter a trade, you need to know where your stop is, where your take profit is. If you don't know where those are, I would not enter a trade. I appreciate you guys tuning in, honestly. Like, this is most views I've had on a Sunday night in a while, so appreciate you guys tuning in. Now what you could do is you could drag your stop in profit, right? So you're going to be in profit as the trade moves to where you want it to go. So we could do this. We can remove that sell limit, and now my stop would take me out. If it comes back, there it goes. It just came out. So good trade there. So you guys can replay that if you want. So, but upon entry, I knew where my stop was going, where my take profit was, and then I just drug my stop, as the profit went in my favor. So, Yamili, good to see you. Yamil, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce your name. I appreciate you. You've been asking good questions. So you've hit me up, and I always try to help people who want to help themselves. So you can see we had a 2 down green, which is a bullish signal on the strat. We came back in, touched probably like a fair value gap or something, and then took off to the upside. So good trade. I was happy with that trade. One thing I've been doing is sizing down, right? Because if you size down, your emotions aren't going to get in the way. And I promise, if you just do that for like a few weeks, it's gonna help you. I had to slow down. I was sizing too heavy, over trading, and just doing all those things that I just didn't need to do. And I was like, I have got to slow down and do this the right way. Uncle. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I appreciate you tuning in. So that's pretty much, I'll try to keep this indicator up For those of you want to use it, it is free on TradingView. You have to go here and type it exactly. There's no space between the and strat. So the strat and then space teach space V2. It is free. My buddy Ngami created it. So you know that it's a good indicator, and it'll help teach you the strat. Do you let it run until the candle closes? Yes, technically you should, because I was targeting up here. I just wanted to show how you can take the profit as the price action moves in your favor. So we got a two down, but green, which is bullish signal, came back into a fair value gap, 2 up. Now we want to see if we get an additional 2 up on the next candle, which we would need to break this candle's high and then go up further. An ICT concept? No. No, well, the fair value gap is an ICT concept, but no, what I'm trading is called the strat. The only ICT concepts I use is fair value gaps and volume imbalance. I don't understand any of the rest of it. I look at liquidity, but that's not really an ICT concept in itself. That's just, and in fact, ICT is all repackaged anyway. Everything he teaches you can learn elsewhere. But yeah, I look at where the liquidity rests. I do look at the fair value gap, and then I look at the volume imbalance. And volume imbalance would be, all volume imbalance is a gap. That's all it is. It's just a gap. And that concept's been around a long, long time. So, but no, I trade the strat. I don't really know how else to trade but the strat. When I found the strat, it made sense to me, and I learned it from Rob Smith, the guy who created it, and then he passed away, and I learned more from Sarah Strat Sniper. But yeah, I just sat down with the strat and took that cheat sheet and everything, and I literally sat here long before I started my YouTube channel, but I literally sat here every Sunday night and I would just watch price action. And because that's all the strat is, it's really a language for price action. So I would watch price action and what would happen and why it was occurring and all those sorts of things. And the longer you sit here, the more you're going to start figuring some things out, right? Like the chart will speak to you, but you know, so you don't necessarily have to use a strat. It's just that the strat made sense to me. Because all the concepts in the strat and the scenarios in the strat, you know, will play out over and over and over. So, you know, it really, really transformed my trading. The strat is free to learn, right? Like there's people online, I'm sure that charge, but there's still so many free resources with the strat that you can take your time to learn it. And I think the best, you know, Rob told me that the strat will customize itself to me, and at first I didn't know what he was talking about. So he said pick one concept in the strat and trade that and get good at that, and then move on to the next one. And he was correct, right? So when I first started trading the strat, I would trade the strat on the daily. I would trade it on an inside bar only, and I would trade the break of the inside bar. So I would mark it out, the inside bar. I would mark the high and the low, which is why I do that on every single time frame, no matter what. But I would mark the high and the low. I would set an alert, right? And then I would trade the break of that. Now, what happens with the strat, a lot of times, not always, but sometimes you will get a signal and then it'll come back and touch and then go again. So your first signal may not always be may not always hold. And Rob would say, you don't have to be the first one in. Again, he would say a lot of concepts, and I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about, So what he meant by that is you don't have to rush into it, right? He would say, let them open. And so he would say that about tonight, let them open. So, because here's the thing, the more information you can gather, right, the better decisions you can make. So you don't have to rush into it. You don't have to do this. And that's something that has taken a long time to develop, right? As a trader, it's taken a long time for me to develop that. So, but yeah, you don't have to rush into it. You don't have to be the first one out the gate, So, and I think, just some things that he taught that just took me a long time to really understand what he meant. But the longer I trade, the more it just all makes sense. So, wow, 68 of you on tonight. I think that's the most I've had on a Sunday night stream in a very, very long time. So, please like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow. It helps the channel grow. I don't make anything off of YouTube. Not monetized yet. So, and even then, it's not, you don't make a ton. The way I make money, from trading, definitely not where I want to be, but I'll get there. And I do make a small commission if you guys use my coupon code Blues Trades with Apex, Lucid, and Bullinox. So so that's the best way to support my channel. Like, subscribe, tune in, and use my affiliate code. That's the best support you can absolutely give me. And hopefully Apex is going to give me some accounts to give away soon. And that way I can give away at least one account a month or something. Can I please elaborate more on what I was talking about? The concept. What concept? The strat. Well, I mean, it's an entire system. I would just yeah, it's an entire system. It's price action. We had a 2 down, another 2 down, but it created what they call a TTO, which is triangle day out, meaning they're going to reverse the market, the price action, and then we had a 2 up. which is bullish. A 2 down would be bearish. An inside bar is neither, because it represents consolidation and indecision. An outside bar can be bullish or bearish. It is also called an engulfing candle. This takes a while to learn. Like, you're not going to get, you're not going to get this like right away. It took me a good solid 6 months of learning just the candle patterns. And I hate to use the word candle patterns because it is and isn't. The strat is a language for price action, is like the way I like to describe it. Because once you learn this, somebody could tell you about any kind of signal and say, oh, well, Tesla went 2 up today. Well, you're going to know what that means if you know the strat. It means that, it was bullish. And that 2 up on this candle continues. I did take another MES. I'm up $25 in that as well. So you don't need heavy size, guys. Like, I can't tell you how long I spent trading heavier size than I needed to trade, because I just couldn't see the forest for the trees, so to speak. I was just trading. This came up exactly where I said I was targeting. Now, we're getting a new 15-minute candle. They're going to come 2 up. It hasn't yet. There it goes. Just went 2 up. So now I'll be targeting 69.57 area. I don't know if we'll get there on this candle. That's my target. But yeah, so I pretty much have just started trading ES. I spent a lot of time on NQ, oversizing, over leveraging everything, blew so many accounts trading NQ because it just doesn't fit me. Can I trade it? I can. Do I want to trade it? I do not. I love the way ES moves. And it's just much better for my psyche in my accounts. But the strat will work on anything. It'll literally work on any ticker, any time frame. People that want to trade forex, you can look here. You can trade 6J. I think was the Japanese yen. Again, yeah. So probably like a small TTO here on the 15-minute, but we did have a 2 up. So 2 down, inside, 2 up, and now we are back inside. But we did have this gap here on Japanese yen. I do not trade Japanese yen. But if you learn the strat, you can trade anything that you want. We'll take a look at micro gold. That is not the right contract. MGCH. We need to get on the March contract. Here it is. Here's your strat set up on gold futures, on micro gold futures. Here's your broadening formation. You can draw broadening formation on any time frame. I like to mostly do them on whatever time frame I'm trading, but you can see we're stuck. We're not. I mean, we'll just ping pong in this broadening formation until we get out of it. But again, this is the beauty of the strat, because you can trade anything you want. If you learn the strat, somebody can throw a chart at you that you've never seen before, and you'll be able to analyze it and trade it. But don't rush it. Don't rush that process. Learn it. Learn one concept at a time. Learn the inside bar if that's all you want. That's what I started out on. I learned the inside bar first. I moved on to the twos, the directional twos. 2 up, 2 down, like this. And then I went to the failed twos, this was what they call a 2 down, but green, or a failed 2. And then once we go over it, you're going up. Or once we go below it, we're going down. So I learned those failed 2s because you could have a 2 up red. Those are my bread and butter. I love the failed 2s. Those, because it creates a TTO on a smaller time frame or broadening formation. So right here, you can do this, do your broadening formation. We bounced right off of it. So you like the 3s, Emil? Yeah. I do not like the 3s. It took me a while to learn how to trade the 3s, right? But so I do not like them. Can I trade them? Yeah, I just don't prefer to. The failed 2s are my absolute favorite. And I was talking to a guy yesterday. I've known him for a while. He lives lives outside of New Orleans. He's a very good strat trader. He said that the failed 2s were his favorite too. So I love the failed 2s. Yep. Yeah. Hey, and you know what? That's great that you love the 3s, because you know how to identify them, you know how to trade them, right? And so whenever you see those occurring, you can do that. Now I've traded a 3 the other day, that one Wednesday. I was like, oh my gosh. I saw it late at night. I was like, we're coming up through the bottom of that previous days. And I was like, we could potentially have an outside day. And that's exactly what happened. So I did trade that. I don't mind the 3s on the larger time frames. But those smaller time frames, man, they will eat you alive if you don't realize what's happening. So yeah, let's check on that. I really appreciate all you guys tuning in. This makes me happy. We have some engagement and some questions, and I like teaching. I I feel like I'm good at teaching. I like explaining things, and yeah, it keeps me engaged, so I like it. I do these streams every Sunday night. I do sometimes stream um, during end of Asia, beginning of London. I do sometimes stream during that time frame as well. Um, but yeah, I should start doing a New York stream, but I'm just not a morning person. I'm just not a morning person, and sometimes it's just like it's just hard on my brain because I know after I'm done trading, I got to go to work. So I think there's that too, and I've gone several times not even trading New York. Sometimes I don't even look at New York. Asia is my favorite. I love trading during Asia. London can be a little tricky because there's usually a manipulation during London. And if you don't recognize that, it took me a long time to recognize that manipulation in London. A long time. I went through several blown accounts on that manipulation. So yeah. Yeah, I don't trade silver. Y'all can have that mess. No, it is not for me. Um the best time to trade Asia, I'd love the open. Love the open. I love the open of Asia, and then as we get closer to the close of Asia and beginning of London. But again, like I said, there's always manipulation in London. There's always manipulation in New York. What do I predict will happen when the market opens? You mean like the regular stock market? I mean, they're buying the futures tonight. I don't see a big disconnect happening there. Guys, this is the most I've ever had on a Sunday night stream, so this makes me really, really happy. I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. If you guys want to follow Sarah Strat Sniper, I think she's just under what is she under here? I don't know. You can go to her YouTube channel and find her YouTube information. And she has a course on the Strat. Alex's Options has a course on the Strat. And 8x Trades on YouTube also has the Strat as well. Yeah, but just because the market shot down, I don't know whether it'll be bullish or bearish. I don't know. No idea. I hope we sell off like crazy because I want to buy things a lot cheaper. You want to buy stuff at all-time highs. You want to buy it on sale. You don't. This is what gets me about people in the market, right? They're like, oh no, the market sold off. I'm like, great. Great. Do you want to go to the grocery store when they've got bread and eggs and milk? When they got eggs priced at $6 a dozen? No. You want to go to the grocery store when they have it at $2. Why would you want to buy stuff higher? That's what I don't understand about people in the market. Everybody wants to start trading silver when it gets to $100. Why? When gold gets to $5,000. That's not when you buy it. You should have bought it at $2. Why are you waiting until it gets all-time high? People last year, Bitcoin. oh, Bitcoin's at 100,000. We should start buying it. What? What do you mean? You should have bought it at 35. What do you... Listen, anytime the public starts talking about something, you need to get the hell out. Because there's about to be a crash like you. You need to get out. Get out. I'm telling you, when your Uber driver starts talking about, oh, I think I'm going to buy some gold now. It's at 5,000. What? No. No. The market is a game. The market is a game. Right? It's like FOMO with this iPhone right here. This is a 16 Pro Max. Upgraded from a 13. Why? You think Apple's about to make me go out and buy a 17 because it's got some sort of different camera setup? No. I'll buy another one when this one stops. Basically, at this point, when this one stops working. Right? Like, you gotta think. The big boys are there to take your money. You need to learn how to hold on to your money, make smart trades, right? Don't rush in when gold's at 5,000. Oh, I think I'm gonna buy some now. What? No. Like, it's just, you have to, yeah, just, you just gotta use a little common sense. So market open negative. They bought the dip so far. We're not back in positive territory, but daily SMT, I have no idea what that means. No clue. I don't trade ICT. I trade the strat. I don't know what SMT even stands for. I look at where liquidity lies. I do look at volume imbalance, which is a gap, nothing new. And I look at yeah, pretty much that. I do want to know where the fair value gaps are, but I don't even know if I understand fair value gaps all that well. I don't have time to learn what a freaking turtle soup and all that other bullcrap is. How's that going to help anybody? I don't understand. I mean, trade whatever system you want. I trade the strat. I know how it works. I know it does work, and that's what I trade. I don't know what SMT and turtle soups and all that other craziness is. I mean, if you do, great. I don't, no idea. But if you ask me about anything about ICT beyond volume imbalance and maybe a fair value gap and liquidity, I will have no clue what you're talking about. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't know, and I don't care to know. I did look at order flow, which I can tell you pretty much where the order flow was anyway on this chart, and it's all concentrated here. Go to, let's see, this. Hide that, hide the strat. So we had the first opening candle. Again, you can see where your value area high, value area low, and point of control is. As far as the order flow goes, you can see this is the volume profile. You can see where the majority of the volume took place last week, or the 15-minute on Friday. So again, you can see where the order book was thin and where it wasn't. So majority of the transactions on Friday took place between this entire value area, or this entire volume node, high shelf area. So when we came down here and touched those single prints tonight, they bought the market, right? Low volume node, they're going to push up to where the majority of the volume took place. So I do understand order flow, but I pretty much trade the strat and I don't deviate much from that. This is another order flow tool chart you can use. This one is the volume footprint. What this tells you is the delta, right? So whether the delta is positive or negative. And then also, and from an order flow perspective, you want to know that. And it also tells you the total volume within that candle. It breaks the candle down is what it does. So that you can see the buyers and the sellers within each candle, right? So right here on Friday, there was 20,000 buyers in this candle here at the bottom, and there was 29.23 sellers. So, or wait, the sellers on this side, buyers on this side. I can't remember exactly. But you can see the buyers took this wick back up. So that's why they closed it around here, around this area. Yeah, sellers has to be on this side. The buyers on this side, the sellers on this side. Some charts are different. Like if you look at Quantower, I think it depending on how it's set up, it could potentially be different. But right now, like in this candle, you see you actually the buyers and the sellers, you actually got a little more buyers than you do sellers. Here in this candle, again, this is a daily candle. We are inside the previous day's candle, but they have bought it, right? So you can see not as much volume as Friday. There was 1.95 million transactions on Friday, and but so not as much tonight, which is as to be expected because we're just opening the market and we're in Asia session. So not as much on right now as we did on Friday. But if you look, I mean, you can just look, right? Like this is one reason why I love volume footprint charts is because you can just look here. Let's just do. Listen, am I the best trader around? Absolutely not. Do I study a lot? Yes, I do. I'll put my time and my study up against anybody out there. And some things come natural to me and some don't. But if you look at this chart right here, all this right here is liquidity. Every single one of it, all of it, right? Because it's where the majority of the transactions took place. So until we break 69.70 or 68.96, we're basically going nowhere, right? But can you scalp it? Yeah, you can. Absolutely. You can scalp it. But I love these charts, and it's on TradingView. You have to have the higher package. I think I got the Pro Plus or something. I don't know. I buy it whenever it's on sale on Black Friday every year. But you could just look at any of these charts, and you could just see, right? Like, you just want to look at where the majority of the auction or the market took place, right? From high to low. It's fine. You can just see where all of these orders took place, right? So if you want to look at it from a strat perspective, and I never thought about this until now, you could look at this as an inside. Because we're just not going anywhere. That's why we're in the middle of this broadening formation. We're not going anywhere from a larger term perspective until we break it. Until one of these sides breaks, we're not going anywhere. That's why we are inside. That is the definition of inside. All of the price action is inside the previous range. Daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever. Then you start breaking it down and you can make some scalps on lower time frames. But from the larger time frame perspective, we're just inside. We're going nowhere. But I love these charts because you can see again where all of the transactions took place. How many payouts have I gotten? Several. I don't advertise it. I mean, I got my tax. Got my 1099s laying right here from payouts. I'm not the channel to come to brag. You guys can watch a million other guys for that. It's not me. I'm going to teach. I'm going to make some good quality trades the best I can. But you want to see all the payouts and all the bragging and all that? No, I'm not the channel for that. But again, as the kids like to say, I got the receipts right there. So all right, I'm gonna get off here. We are just shy of 100 people. So thank you guys, every single one of you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you very much. Please like, subscribe, and use my coupon code BluesTrades at Apex, Bullinox, and Lucid. That'll get you the best discounts that they have going right now. And it is the best way to support my channel. So I appreciate every one of you tuning in. You can always reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have on the strat. Again, that is the main system that I trade. I do look at order flow. I did look at delta footprints, TPO charts, but the bread and butter for me is the strat, and that's what I'm sticking with. And if you need to learn more about it, you can look up Rob Smith, the strat. You can also go to Sarah Strat Sniper, Alex's Options, and 8X Trades, and Strat Soldier, all on YouTube. And but yeah, I'll be happy to answer any questions any of you ever have about the strat. And so appreciate you tuning in. Hope you guys have a fantastic night, and I'll see you for certain next Sunday. All right, take care. Thank you so much.